Two tropical waves are currently impacting our area, and the chance for tropical development still appears likely by this time next week. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We are your home for Caribbean weather, and it is a Friday. I hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, we'll talk about the two impactful tropical waves that are moving across the Caribbean right now. You can see the Central American gyres beginning to pick back up. That's the first signs of more active weather, and again, that opportunity for potential tropical development down the road here as we get toward the end of next week. We'll look at your island by island rainfall forecast for the weekend ahead as well. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys. Appreciate the Meteo Mundo weather community. Let me know in the comment section below where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like, and we will get started. You're looking at your broad enhanced satellite imagery, the live lightning data here at Meteo Mundo. And the numbers that you see are wind gusts in miles an hour. We've had some really strong winds in places like Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao for today, back down towards the Windward Islands and Trinidad, and some storms flaring up again with that Central American gyre getting going. Here are the two tropical waves. The one is impacting the Lesser Antilles as we speak. It's bringing some gusty winds, some heavy rainfall, kicking up the sea conditions as well. Second tropical wave is moving through the western sides of the Caribbean, and in between we've had some really squally weather and some very gusty winds there as well. And again, we still have this stationary boundary deep into the Turks, the Caicos, south of the Bahamas, which has dried out our northern areas here. Another tropical wave is moving off the West African coastline. This time of the year, we don't really look for that to be impactful tropically, but that's always something, of course, I'll be monitoring as well. Okay, let's get into what's been happening on this Friday afternoon, and we'll start off with my friends in Jamaica, because starting to see some hefty showers and storms developing right here on this late Friday afternoon. Now, the storms are mainly concentrated in the central and the western sides of the island, from Linstead and Old Harbor, Hayes, back over towards Maypen and Mandeville, Black River, Negril, Cambridge, Montego Bay, all with opportunities to catch some of these storms. Yet to see them develop as far east as the Kingston, Port more Spanish Town area. You notice there's a few lightning strikes off the Ocho Rio, Port Maria coastline as well. This is the most activity we've had during the week at this time. We've had mainly more heavy late evening showers and storms, but we're starting to flare up more moisture here, guys, and places like Jamaica and Cuba and the Cayman Islands will benefit from that and get better rain chances over the weekend ahead as well. But again, watch out for some heavier showers and storms. Sorry, I got this like itch in my eye right now. A couple of rubs, I'll be fine. All right, Grand Cayman, few showers and storms trying to develop south of the island. If you look south and east, you'll see a few lightning strikes. We've been mainly dry here, Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. But again, all of the drier air is going to be replaced with richer, deeper tropical moisture, and rain chances will improve. I mean, clearly to see that in just a 24-hour period here in the Northwest Bahamas, Northwest Caribbean, that we start to see much more moisture. Look at all the instability, all the lightning strikes as well. Now, this is yet to reach, for the most part, the coastline of Quintana Roo. Cancun and Cozumel still dry. Towards Tulum, a nice little storm developing just south of the coast there. Still dry in Belize from San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, San Ignacio. Storms again are flaring up offshore right now, and a few showers are possible over Roatan and Guanaja. But overall, this whole area will get into a more active pattern starting tomorrow. And all you have to do is look off towards the south. I mean, look at the amount of thunderstorm activity along the Caribbean coastline of Honduras and Nicaragua right now. This is going gangbusters. This is extremely heavy rain and a lot of lightning. 126 lightning strikes in just the past 15 minutes. In this view, watch out for some flash flooding in these areas if you live along coastal sides of Honduras and Nicaragua. And I know some of you do who watch the channel, so let me know in the comment section below how you're doing, how much rain you guys have seen, because there's going to be some hefty totals out of this just for today. San Jose, Panama City could catch a few storms mainly towards Costa Rica. Panama is just a little bit too far off towards the south. We slip over to my friends in the ABC Islands. Now again, earlier today, we had some very gusty winds. Throw that back on, a 37-mile-an-hour wind gust in Aruba, and it's going to be very breezy here the next couple of days with the opportunity for some fast-passing showers. I think the best chance was today, but we'll still have a few showers over the weekend ahead as well. And Jaden sent me this shot earlier today in Aruba with some of those passing showers. Good to see some of those clouds and some darker clouds and some rain moving through Aruba today. Hopefully Bonaire and Curacao, you guys got a little bit as well. Appreciate Jaden sending me in that photo to myMediaMundo@gmail.com. We'll move on over to the Windward Islands, just kind of working our way from west to east here. Again, impactful tropical wave moved through throughout the day. Switch over to the visible satellite imagery. This is going to mainly be a tropical wave that's fast moving, very windy conditions. We did lose the yellow alert in Trinidad and Tobago. Not as hazardous weather overall on this Friday, but still some breezy conditions and quick passing showers. The rain overall not as concentrated, especially in the Windward Islands on this Friday, but we've still had some showers moving through St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, St. Lucia and Barbados. Barbados has had some very rough sea conditions. We've had some watches out for the swell conditions on the northern and the eastern side of the island, and those swells will be an issue for the boaters here over the weekend as well, so keep that in mind. Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, all again with surface winds out of the east. You notice that there's no numbers on the board here. Promise you we still have the wind gusts up, but we have not had stronger winds for today, with temperatures really aren't that bad. Upper 80s to right around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Antigua Barbuda's enjoyed a relatively nice day. Now this tropical wave continues to slip off towards the west. We've seen drier weather kind of sneak back into St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands and Tortola there, the road town area of the British Virgin Islands. Showers and storms are developing at the hour across portions of Puerto Rico. Again, mainly central and the western sides of the islands. Yauco, Uti Alto, Aguadilla, Mayaguez. Look at Ponce, 97. It's steamy. There have been heat advisories today for Puerto Rico, but you see San Juan's temperature back down to 82. That's what happens when you get the storms in your area. Same thing for Fajardo and Aguadilla. Fairly active day across portions of the Dominican Republic and Haiti as well. It's been dealer's choice, meaning that not as many, but where the storms have developed, they've been on the heftier side. Here late on this Friday, we're actually trying to get a little storm to develop just to the northeast of the Santo Domingo area towards San Pedro de Macorís and areas just inland from the coastline. But some of those storms could drift off towards the south. It's been a rougher day, if you will, for a few storms over portions of the Turks, Grand Turk, and on over towards the Caicos there. You see Cockburn Town just kind of staying in the lower 80s, but part of that story has been the drier air up to the north. It has been an exceptional day weather-wise in the Bahamas. Look at these temperatures, 82 in Freeport, 84 for the high in Nassau, we're already back down towards 82. Just nice dry air, but no threat for any rain for today across the Bahamas. A few storms developing on the eastern sides of Cuba, but that's about it. So again, friends, the big story is going to be this Central American gyre. I mean, you can clearly see that we're beginning to activate this. Regardless of tropical development, just like we had with Nadine beforehand, this is going to bring a lot of rain to Central America and portions of the Yucatan. But more than likely, this is also going to spin up some tropical development here by about this time next week. As we get into the forecast, you know I love to hear from you guys, so appreciate that. Also, thank you so much for liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Those are the two easy ways to support me here at Meteo Mundo. You click the thumbs up, you subscribe, and again, you'll get your daily forecasts across the Caribbean and the Bahamas and your tropical updates across the Atlantic. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends, anyone you think will get something out of it, and appreciate all the support. The memberships, that's the join button, just 99 cents a month. The heart with the dollar sign is the super things where you can donate whatever you might desire, and you can find other ways in the description below, and I appreciate those who have found that as well. All right, so now we're going to get into the forecast over the weekend, and then we'll deep dive into the tropics. So we'll start off with the shorter term models here. Just want to kind of break down what I expect for the weekend ahead. We'll talk about how these two tropical waves will move off towards the west, how the Central American gyre will just start to enhance the chance for rain in our western areas. But we'll start off to the east first. For the Lesser Antilles in general, we're going to stay with fast passing showers. The rain chance isn't going to be exceptionally high any one day from Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius, Montserrat. But passing showers are possible here. Also, just watch out for some fresh winds from time to time, which will kick up sea conditions as well. We've had some high surf advisories. We've had some small craft advisories in other areas. We've had some swells, so just watch out for that. I think that general forecast sticks around for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, our chances are 40 to 50% here. Barbados, Rain chances will begin to improve as we get late Sunday and into Monday. Same thing for most of the Windward Islands. The other area that will have a little bit higher rain chance will be Trinidad and portions of Tobago. Rain coming off of the coastline here of South America will provide better opportunities for rain this far south. You get to Grenada North, not as much of a chance. Passing showers are certainly likely for Nueva Esparta. It's going to be, again, isolated rain for the ABC Islands through the weekend, but very windy conditions. Just like today where Aruba had that 37-mile-an-hour wind gusts approaching 40 miles an hour are not out of the realm of possibility for this area for Saturday and Sunday. Relaxing a little bit on our Monday. Back up to the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Will be a little bit drier tomorrow and then start to crank back up the rain chances a bit. Nothing outrageously high for the weekend ahead, so if you have some outdoor plans, that's looking pretty good. Boaters, just keep an eye out for some of the storms that will be developing here, but otherwise, it's not going to be a bad weekend. And again, with our tropical wave moving off towards the west, no huge concentration of showers. Slightly higher chances for the Dominican Republic and Haiti, from Santo Domingo to Puerto Plata, Santiago de los Caballeros, Port-au-Prince, Lacai, Bajarona, all with opportunities for some heavier rain and storms. And you can start to see the impacts of the tropical moisture lifting north and butting up against that front that I showed you on the surface analysis. That's just kind of a washed out front that's sitting there, but it aids in lifting the atmosphere. And as the richer moisture moves up across the Western Caribbean, guess what happens? Rain chances improve for the Turks and the Caicos, especially Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and eventually in time the Southeast Bahamas as well. Places like the Inagua Islands and the Acklins will start to get back into the act. But certainly, our rain chances are going to be higher here in the western side of the Caribbean, Central America, and the Yucatan as well. Hefty rain totals are possible for Panama, Costa Rica, especially the eastern sides of Nicaragua, Honduras, and then back towards Guatemala and Belize and Quintana Roo, especially again on the Caribbean coastline. It will be a little bit drier inland, farther west that you go, but still some healthier rain. And again, this is just over the next 3 days. As we get into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, this CAG, Central American Gyre, is going to be active all week long. So these rainfall totals are going to be quite impressive. Again, it's still going to be scattered in Jamaica, Morant Bay, Port Antonio, Port Maria, Ocho Rios, on over towards Montego Bay, Negril, Savlamar, Kingston, Linstead, but rain chances overall are just going to be higher. There's just going to be more moisture and a better opportunity for showers and storms. I'm not really pinpointing any day to have a much higher chance, but that deeper moisture will just allow for more rain development in the afternoon hours. Some of that will be into the early evening as well. It's the same scenario for the Cayman Islands, where again, just richer, deeper tropical moisture will lead to better shower and storm chances. So just prepare for that, mainly with the heat of the day. We'll get the showers and storms develop into the afternoon hours. And once again, our friends in the Northwest Bahamas, Freeport, Lucaya, Walker's Key, the Abacos, Bimini, Nassau, New Providence, Andros, Eleuthera. A few showers are likely late Sunday, Monday, but there's not going to be a lot of rain here over the next few days. So we break down that rain chance, and we'll start off in the Bahamas. Northwest side, just a 20% chance through Monday, 30 for the central and southeast Bahamas through the weekend, then a 40% chance on Monday. Turks and Caicos rain chances just go higher and higher, up to a 50% chance on Monday. Cuba's rain chances are very high Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Cayman Islands rain chances 30 tomorrow, but a 40 on Sunday and Monday. I might be underdoing that a little bit for the Cayman Islands. I think the opportunity by late Sunday, Monday, where that chance goes a little bit higher, I'll be monitoring that. Belize City, 60% chance tomorrow and still a high 50% chance on Sunday and Monday. Cancun and Cozumel, 30 and then 40, 40, and that will be the lowest I expect in these areas for the week ahead. More than likely, starting on Tuesday, the numbers will be that high or more than likely higher. Jamaica's chances, 40% chance tomorrow, 50 Sunday and Monday. Dominican Republic, 50 tomorrow, 40 Sunday, 60 on Monday. It's a 50 for Puerto Rico tomorrow, then a 30 Sunday, back to a 40 on Monday. So scattered showers and storms for Puerto Rico and the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands. No big concentration any one day. Bermuda, post-Oscar, has been windy but drier, 30% chance tomorrow, 20 Sunday, Monday. Anguilla, it's a 40% chance for rain through the weekend. St. Kitts and Nevis, about a 30 to a 40% chance. Generally speaking, we'll be in that 30, 40, maybe 50% chance for rain for the rest of the Lesser Antilles over the weekend. Antigua Barbuda, 40% chance. Montserrat, 30, 40. You can see 40, 50 here. But rain chances will begin to tick up just a little bit beginning on Monday, up to a 60% chance for Antigua and Barbuda on Monday, 50 for Guadeloupe, 60 for Dominica on Monday, and places like Martinique and St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines also go slightly higher as well. Barbados is drier tomorrow, 40 Sunday, and they're up to a 60% chance on Monday. Grenada stair steps it up as well from a 30 Saturday to a 50 on Monday. Again, one of the exceptions is Trinidad and Tobago. Higher chances tomorrow with some heavier rain possible, so keep an eye out for that. Lower Sunday, back to a 50 on Monday. Higher rain chances over the entire period for Suriname and Guyana. Scattered showers for Nueva Esparta. Not a lot of rain, but very windy conditions for the ABC Islands. And these winds are going to kick up the seas, guys. These winds are going to kick up the seas. Oh, I can't get myself off camera. Oh, well. These winds are going to kick up the seas, all right? So watch out for those seas to be a big factor here in some areas. First of all, again, with the easterlies coming through, you can see the fresh seas are going to be coming back in on the east side of the Central American gyre as well. Also, some very fresh winds moving into the western Atlantic. There could be some extremely high sea conditions here as we get into mid and late next week. So again, over the weekend, it's kind of the southern side of the Caribbean. As we get into mid to late next week, here is Tuesday, Wednesday. Watch these winds really freshen up over the Bahamas. And again, the opportunity on this wave, what we call Wave Watch 2 here, which is derived off the GFS for some strong waves and winds to pick up again in the central Caribbean with the potential for tropical development. So European rainfall totals look like this, all right? They're going to, again, pop up very high towards the end of this period, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and into early on Friday, as the Central American gyre really begins to set up. It's initiating as we speak, but I promise you, it's going to be days and days of heavy rainfall along the Caribbean coastline of Central America into the Yucatan, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and eventually the European model is also trying to, and we'll look at this as well, potentially develop something tropically here again that kind of slips north of the Lesser Antilles and towards the Greater Antilles, and that's why you see this swath of heavier rain in this area. Drier spots will generally be portions of the Lesser Antilles and the Bahamas over the next 7 days. Let's take a look at the rainfall totals from the GFS model. That, what I just showed you, was the European model, and even just the next 5 days here on the GFS model. I could extend it out in time, but I don't think I really have to. You get the idea that skirting the coastline of places like Costa Rica and north, you've got potentially over a foot of rain. Now, again, it's an easy conversion. 1 inch is 25 millimeters, so 10 inches is 250 millimeters of rain. Hope we don't see that, but 1 to 200 millimeters is not out of the question in just the next few days. And it's just a wet period here. I mean, look at Belize. Again, 3-4 inches of rain in a couple of spots. Towards Roatan, a few inches as well, just off the coastline. Very heavy rainfall totals. I'm not sure we're going to, pick up this little 9-10 inch and then only have a few towards Tulum and Cozumel. But there will be pockets of very heavy rainfall. You get the idea. Cayman Islands here on the GFS model, 3+ inches of rain. Again, that's nearly 100 millimeters. Few inches for Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. Still could have some nice rain here. Again, pockets of heavier rain possible in Jamaica. Some of that could fall over the island. I would say overall, 50, 75, upwards of up to 150 millimeters of rain. So we're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 inches in a couple of choice locations over the next 5 days. As I mentioned, the southeast Bahamas could start to get very wet, while the northwest Bahamas stay very dry. So you can clearly see the moisture coming up and over and butting into that stationary boundary and not allowing the moisture to go farther to the north. So that means the rain sits over the southeast Bahamas and the Turks, the Caicos, and potentially maybe the northern sides of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And there's an opportunity that some of this could even backbuild over Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. So the opportunity that some of this heavier rain is slightly farther off to the south, all right? And again, scattered showers for the Lesser Antilles overall. Now we're going to get into the tropics. Let me go back over to here first. So we're going to stair step this like we have, okay? Everything that I've seen today still points to a high chance for tropical development in the central and the western side of the Caribbean by around this time next week. Obviously, the models are going to change in some way every day, and that's why we update you every day as well. So we'll start off with the GFS deterministic model. going to loop this up. We'll look at the reflectivity, that's the rainfall first, then we'll look at the winds, then we'll look at the European ensemble products as well, and the GFS ensembles, where we're looking at not just the one deterministic model, but what is the spread from these two global models as far as potentials here for location and overall development, okay? On the GFS model, deterministic, there's been a slight nudge to the east, but overall, we're still seeing a broad area developing here towards the end of this week and then into next weekend, right? You can clearly, again, see just the impacts of the Central American gyre. This is inherent spin in the atmosphere. Look at all of the rain. It's going to get wet regardless. This is the same discussion you and I had as Nadine was forming, right? Where we talked about it here on Meteo Mundo about a week before the Hurricane Center even put a location on where Nadine ended up developing. And of course, that was a storm that moved back into Honduras and Belize. As I mentioned with the potential development of Nadine, and I'll do this with this storm as well, regardless of development, very heavy rainfall is likely to fall in the central and the western Caribbean. So flooding is going to be a concern regardless. Now, on this latest run of the deterministic GFS, is slightly more towards the east, kind of pointing more towards Jamaica and Honduras and Haiti, and then back towards portions of the Bahamas and the Turks, the Caicos. So not as far west, but this is just one model run, and there could be kind of what we call a windshield wiper effect, where it starts to go back and forth. Regardless of that exact track, and we don't ever want to, this far out, get into talking much about that, just pointing it out more than anything, it's still showing development, and that's the biggest thing. If we switch over to the winds associated with this, so we'll get a little bit better opportunity and idea of where this is trying to form that low level center. The first thing I will point out is the extremely windy conditions this weekend in the ABC Islands, portions of the Bahamas, where again, they're on the drier side, the Cayman Islands and the Turks, the Caicos, with very windy weather. And again, this is outside of any tropical development, just some really fresh easterlies overall. It's going to take just a second to fully load up here, making it go out more than a week, but you'll start to see again here in this area as we get towards the 31st and eventually towards the 1st and the 2nd here, that spin that begins to kind of crop up, all right? Hopefully here it's almost done rendering. Sometimes this takes a while, and every so often too we catch it mid-model run, so we may not get the full thing. It looks like it wants to stop off right there, but that's okay. Still takes us to the 31st, and you guys get the idea of kind of this overall just broader spin, right? Nothing is really wrapped up a lot, but there's a little bit of a sign over the Turks, the Caicos. You've just kind of got this broad area over Jamaica and Puerto Rico, and Haiti and the Dominican Republic, okay? So nothing as tight as what we had yesterday. Again, I wish this went out just a little bit further. Again, sometimes we just have this issue. If I do this every so often, it works. These are the wind gusts. Now, let me see if I can go back here to that. I'm going to try and loop it up fully one more time. I'd like to show you guys the first and the second, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that full run. Anyway, the bottom line is you guys saw it on the reflectivity that, you know, that spin is just right here in this area, okay? Now on the European ensembles for next Saturday, okay? And again, what you guys see here are these red numbers, which would be locations of the low-level center, right? The last two numbers of what the pressure would be. So if you see an 05, that would be a 1,000 millibar pressure storm. If you see something like 94, that would be 994, and would be a stronger storm, right? Lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. But you can see that cluster. It's also slightly farther east, right? Do you see these brighter yellows here? That's the higher concentration south of Hispaniola towards Jamaica, but there's a few in the Bahamas, there's a few in the Turks, the Caicos as well, and some in the western sides of the Caribbean. There's been a slight shift early with it going farther east. Got to tell you, the European model is also on board with at least a tropical depression, okay? This is the chance of a tropical depression over the next 10 days, and we are at 100% here. That's what this red area means, okay? So it's trying to develop a tropical depression in the southwest Caribbean and then move it north in some way, whether that's due north, north and east, north and west. Again, there's a lot of variability when it comes to exactly what be happening with that one. So let's now take a look at the Ensemble members of this. This is the GFS Ensemble, okay? So we saw that the GFS was kind of bringing this in this direction on the deterministic. We've got the 51 different members. I had a nice slow loop for you guys. So again, first signs of development, maybe as early as Wednesday, but more than likely Thursday and into Friday. So the 6 to 7 day time frame. And again, you'll start to see these lift to the north here as we get into next Saturday and early on Sunday. This would be late Saturday nights, so about 8 days from now, basically. But you can clearly see we have some stronger storms. We have some storms a little bit farther off to the east, and we have a couple of the areas a little bit off to the west. This would be the same area, meaning the same one development, but just its strength and its location is obviously still very much up in the air. And that's exactly what these Ensemble members tell us, the error, if you will, in the track and the spread from these different models. All right. But there's been a little bit of a shift east, at least initially, of where this might go as it develops in the Caribbean. For the European model, again, we'll take it nice and slowly here. No development, at least through Thursday. The European model tends to be a little bit slower overall, right, as far as development goes, and then it tends to pick up the timing and get a little bit more in line with the GFS. The GFS generally tries to initiate development quicker than the European model, and we're seeing that as well. So now we're looking into Sunday rather than Saturday, and you start to see about those same areas, right? So the European model is 24, maybe 36 hours behind the GFS, but we still pick up some tracks here near Jamaica, south of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, a few outliers west, a few outliers north and east. The interesting thing is that particular one right there is actually with a storm coming out of the Atlantic, okay? It's the first time I've seen on the European model development here that would push back towards the Turks, the Caicos, and the Southeast Bahamas, kind of like what Oscar did, but never formed until it got to the Turks and the Caicos, but about that same track. That's something I'll be monitoring. It's a little bit far down the road, and it's the first model run I've seen to really pick up on that. So we'll discuss that here at Meteo Mundo if the European model continues to show that solution and if the GFS picks up on it. But that's what that particular one is. It's not with this. All these other ones are, though. All right. Friends, I appreciate you guys. You can follow us across social media. I'll just step out of the way since I can't get myself off camera. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or a video like Jaden did, I appreciate it. mymeteomundo@gmail.com. Friends, while you're down there, thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. You have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back shortly with the latest update. Until then, you guys have a great rest of your Friday, and I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.